So now that we've exposed the villain in our story as a manager, this villain of the tyranny of the urgent, now we want to talk about a superpower that's available for us as managers, a superpower that we can leverage to help us battle against the tyranny of the urgent and help create space in our world, space in our mind to be able to focus on and drive the action that we want and need to drive around the important work that we're trying to get done, that will allow us to move forward the success and the value that our teams create in the organization. Because like we said, all of us have felt this. All of us have felt the domination at times of the tyranny of the urgent. We have felt like when we come into the office, we have every intent to get a lot of great work done. But then whenever we leave at the end of the day, we close our computer, we feel like we're still in the same spot where we were. And we feel like all we do is go from fire to fire to fire, firefighting because of the impact and the implication of being dominated by the tyranny of the urgent. And so we want to more and more create capacity or create value or create space to where we can get the important work done. And so we don't feel like we're just dominated and we're firefighting all the time. And that's where this superpower comes in for a manager. Because there is this currency that is emerging for us as leaders. And it's a currency that if we can develop it, if we can acquire it, that it will allow us to differentiate ourselves as leaders in the organization. And it will allow us to create space to be able to focus on what's important. And when I talk about currency, think about what that is for just a second. Currency is something that you have that you exchange for something that is valuable for you. So if you go to Starbucks and you want to get your favorite latte, you're going to exchange currency for that latte. That is something that is a value to you. You're going to use cash, you're going to use your debit card, your credit card that has currency within it to be able to get something that's valuable for you. And in this case, it could be the latte, your favorite latte from Starbucks. And so the currency that is emerging for us as leaders is the currency of capacity. Now, you may be thinking capacity. We talk about capacity models, we have our capacity model, and that's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking necessarily about time, or I'm not talking necessarily about a resource. When I say currency in this context, what I'm talking about is your ability as a leader, your ability as a manager of a team to be able to create space. It could be creating space in your own mind to allow you to think about the action you need to drive towards the important work that you want to get done. It could be the capacity as far as time and the ability to focus on important work and getting that done to be able to drive your strategy forward. But it's really, how do you create the space to be able to work on the things that are important so you're not dominated by the tyranny of the urgent? And the leader who is able to create more and more capacity, more and more space to focus on what's important, will most likely be the leader who differentiates themselves and a leader who's drives success for themselves and for their team. So how do you do this? How do you create this type of currency? Well, there's two components to focus on if you want to create capacity that ultimately allows you to focus on what's important. And those two components are capabilities and emotional intelligence. That we need to be focused on driving up our capabilities and increasing our skills when it comes to our own emotional intelligence. And the cool thing about this is that both of those can be developed. Both of those, if you're intentional, you can invest in yourself to develop them. And if you think about your capabilities, that's really the inventory of stuff you have available to you to be able to leverage today and in the future as you drive success as a leader in the organization. It's your skills, it's your knowledge, it's your abilities, it's your experiences that you have. It's all of the inventory of stuff that you have that you can leverage to help you be successful and to help you grow as a leader in the organization. And the cool thing about it is these are skills, these are capabilities, this is knowledge, this is experiences that we can get, that we can develop, and that we can enhance over time that allow us to drive up our capabilities. And just think for a minute. Think about the first day you were a manager and now, today, as a manager. And my guess is that you have developed or enhanced skills, or you've had experiences, or you've gained knowledge, or you have enhanced your abilities as a manager that allow you to work more effectively and efficiently today than you did the first day you started. And so keep that in mind, because if we want to create capacity, we have to continue to invest in ourselves to develop new capabilities and enhance the capabilities that we have. And the second is emotional intelligence. And this is the number one indicator of our success today and our future success. And I've seen a lot of leaders get dominated by the tyranny of the urgent, or even derail their influence because of their lack of skills when it comes to emotional intelligence. And so emotional intelligence is really your ability to recognize, to read, and to respond. It's your ability to drive up your own self-awareness, your ability to increase your social awareness, and your ability to monitor and develop and control and self-regulate yourself. And it's really about knowing yourself. And to lead yourself, you have to know yourself. And so emotional intelligence, there's skills that can be developed, but they are important skills if you want to create capacity to be able to create space to focus on what's important. Just think about your own personal experience. Think about the chaos that's created, or the miscommunication, or the conflict, or the interpersonal tensions that exist because we have low emotional intelligence skills on our teams. And think about the space or the capacity that would be created if those were minimized or eliminated. And that's really what emotional intelligence is about. And so as we grow in our skills and grow in our own personal development when it comes to emotional intelligence, we'll create more and more capacity to be able to get important work done. Emotional intelligence contains things like your emotional self-awareness, your emotional self-control, your adaptability, your empathy, your outlook, whether it's positive or negative, your ability to manage relationships and the influence that you have in relationships and the currency that you have in relationships. This is what emotional intelligence is about. And the more we develop these skills, the smarter we will work. The more we develop these skills, the more we will minimize the chaos that can be created from having low emotional intelligence. And that together will allow us to create capacity to be able to focus on what's important. And so your superpower as a manager in your battle against the tyranny of the urgent is to drive up capacity. And you do that through developing your capabilities, enhancing the capabilities that you have today, gaining new capabilities, and investing in yourself to develop and grow your emotional intelligence skills. And as we do that, we'll start to incrementally get more and more capacity or create more and more space to be able to think about and focus on the important and be able to get more work done, not by working harder, but by working smarter.